The aim of this series is to empower students to become independent learners. This equips them with the skills and the mindset that they need to thrive both inside and outside the classroom and in later life. However, it isn't always easy to get students to take charge of their own learning, especially if they lack intrinsic motivation. We will always have some students in our classes who just don't like learning English. There may be many reasons for this, which we don't have time to go into here, and while you may be able to identify some of the causes, sometimes there is no clear apparent reason why a student dislikes your lessons. Or it may also occur that some students are just not very engaged in the unit topic of your coursebook. So what can we do about this? Whatever the underlying cause for a lack of motivation, we can do a couple of things. The first is to provide opportunities for students to access their passions and interests in the classroom. And the second is to create a positive learning environment where students feel comfortable sharing these passions. Our keyword in this video is cultivate. Why cultivate? Well, as I said in the intro, it's not always easy to develop this independence and autonomy. As well as introducing it gradually, as we've been doing through these videos, we need to spend time nurturing it. It's not enough to just plant the seeds. We need to water them and give them some sunlight too. So in today's video, we're going to focus on cultivating independent learners. We've already talked about this in other videos, but offering choice and autonomy in learning activities and allowing students to explore topics that align with their interests and passions is the first step. Check out the other videos in this playlist for more ideas. Last week I shared an idea with you where students brainstorm a list of topics that interest them, and then you choose a topic together as a class and think about different areas that you could explore. However, you may find that your students don't all have the same interests. So you may want to consider allowing students to explore topics that align with their individual interests and passions. We can do this by taking a project-based or inquiry-based approach where students can investigate subjects of their choice. This would be a free inquiry. We can also showcase students' interests with classroom displays where we give students a space of their own where they can share their work. But let's look at how this might work practically. In this activity, we're going to set up a mini passion project showcase. All you need is a display board or some wall space or even some tables and some art supplies, so markers and coloured paper, etc. Invite students to choose a topic or subject that they are passionate about. The project could be individual, in pairs or in groups, depending on whether students find that they have similar interests and want to work together. Provide time for students to research and explore and find information related to their chosen topic, whether this is a sport or a footballer or an artist or a dinosaur or whatever it is they're interested in. They could make something to share the information with others. So it could be a poster or some slides or a diorama or a model, something like that. And then when they've made this, you can set up a showcase where students can display and present their projects to their classmates. Now, depending on the extent of the project, you could also invite the students' families to come in and watch them present them. During the showcase, encourage students to share what they did, what they discovered, what they learnt, and their reflections with the others. This could be a short project, or it could be something that students work on across a whole term or even the school year. That way you could just have students spend 5 or 10 minutes each lesson on it. So maybe at the end of the lesson they have time to work on their passion project. Or it could be a fast finisher activity, so whenever students have finished and they need something to do, they could work on their passion project. Doing a project like this, even as an additional activity that runs alongside your main lesson content, can give students a real sense of pride, as well as increasing motivation levels. It shows those learners who struggle with the standard lesson content, such as grammar or spelling, that they too can learn English and do something real with it, which is more important. As well as cultivating our students' interests, we also need to cultivate relationships and a positive learning environment. We can do this by promoting collaboration and teamwork. This can be done through games and group projects, group work and cooperative learning activities. We'll be talking a bit more about group work in another video coming soon. It's important to create a classroom environment where students feel able to ask questions, to pursue and share their interests with each other and take the initiative with their learning. If students can choose their favourite topic, this provides a huge amount of intrinsic motivation. And going back to last week's video, it could also lead to flow. Today's tip is about encouragement. When we do this type of self-directed learning with students working individually or in groups on a common interest, things don't always go to plan. Some students can quickly lose motivation if they don't have the required structure or routines in place. It's normal for students to encounter blocks and get stuck. So it's important to praise their efforts and encourage them. Try to foster a growth mindset and provide support where needed, ideally at or just before the point of need. Sometimes all we need is a little push in the right direction and a pat on the back. So how are you going to cultivate your independent learners in your classroom? Let me know what you try out, and if you have any other ideas, share them in the comments below.